Hello world, this is Alex Tran and this is Project 7 submission proving that I did it video. Okay, let's get started. This is what we're going to be building today. This is the NASA Photo Day app using the NASA Photo API. If the first thing you need to do is you need to go to NASA Photo API and get yourself an API key. Google NASA Photo API. Okay, get yourself an API key, and once you get the API key, you're going to pass it inside of a query string and then retrieve the data as JSON going back. So yeah, passing it inside of a query string, and this is the data coming back. Cool. Now just save this URL somewhere. Yep, save that URL somewhere and then open up WebStorm or whatever editor you want to use. And we're going to build this app out of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let's go ahead and make a new file. It's going to be called index.html. Let's make another new file. Let's call this index.css. Make a new file, call this, oh dear, what should I call this? I should call this index.js, and that's going to be our JavaScript file. Now, first thing we need to do, let's get started with the HTML file. Our document name is going to be NASA Photo Day app. Okay, let's test out to see if this works by writing a simple hello world app. Hello world. Okay, it worked. So let's go ahead and import our style sheet, and that is going to be index.css. Cool. Now let's go ahead and import our script tag. So let's go ahead and import autocomplete just failed me there, and the script tag will require a source. I think my keyboard is cutting in and out. It's missing character. Script index.js. Bam. Okay. So let's test out the. Let's call this div container, and inside of container, let's just do nothing. And let's see the script tag is all linked up to our HTML file by doing .container background color blue to see if that worked. Okay, so that worked. And notice that there's a little bit of margin here because we didn't do the CSS reset. So let's go ahead and find a CSS reset. The reason why we're doing a CSS reset is because every browser is different and they add different styling to our CSS. So let's do a quick CSS reset to make sure that our CSS code look consistent throughout multiple browser. So CSS reset, let's Google ourselves a CSS reset and get ourselves one. I don't like this one. There was one that I used a while back. I don't remember. It's kind of funny because every time I Google stuff, it always changes. But so what I'm going to do here. We don't need an npm package to reset our CSS. That's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the CSS reset from my old project. So I can just grab this thing and I'm going to paste this inside of project 5. Okay, and that should reset our CSS. And you should notice that our margin is now nothing. Okay. So the container class will contain two things. It's going to contain our image, and it's going to contain our info div. So we're going to do div, and we're going to inject our HTML code later using the JavaScript. So we're going to do an ID, so we can do get element .id later, and it's going to be image. And the second div we're going to need is div with the ID of info. Okay, so that should be good. Let's just test it out real quick. This is the image div. And this is the info div. All right, let's go to our index.js file and fetch the data so we can display it on the screen. And to do that, let's grab the first div element first. Const info div is equal to document const info div equal to document dot get element dot id info, and we're going to copy this and we're going to exchange our info with image. All right, so now that we have those two reference, we can create a function called fetch data that's going to fetch the data from the API and insert the image tag and the info h1 and all the body tag. So let's do fetch data, and because we're using fetch, it's going to be an asynchronous function. We're going to mark this as an async function, and because the fetch API, the fetch function return a promise, we're going to do await fetch, and then we're going to grab that URL that we just used a second ago. We're not going to use environment variable or anything fancy like that. We're just going to go straight in here. Okay, so const data. Now, if you console log after response right now, you're not going to get the data you want because it's inside the readable stream, and you have to parse that stream to JSON data. So if I do console, what is wrong with you? Oh, gotta call the function. So you see, the response body returns a the body as the readable stream. So if you don't do await here, this is what's going to happen. It's going to say it is a promise pending. So the await keyword will wait until the promise is resolved and then continue to save the data inside response. If you don't want to do await, you can do fetch whatever the data is and then do a dot then. And then when that promise gets resolved, we can call like a callback function in here to passing in that response object. Res and then console log res. But we're not going to do that. That's just not very clean. We're going to do it this way. We're not going to do any error handling in this app because that is just way too much. Const data is equal to await response dot to JSON, because if you look at it, if you look at this inside of the prototype, one of the prototype method is JSON, and that's going to parse our JSON data from the readable stream to JSON object and return a JSON object. So now if we console log out data, we will see that it's the same data that we got back from Postman, which is all this stuff right here. The copyright information, the date, the explanation, blah, 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 the title, the HD image and the normal size image, and the service version, the media type is image, all that cool stuff. So now let's just go ahead and create an image tag and append that to the image div so we can see the image. So const image is equal to document dot get by create element, and we're going to call this img for image dot set source is going to be equal to data dot URL, because if you look, remember, oh god, it's gone. Oh no, console log, okay, log data. Inside for data, there's a URL. Inside of a data object, there is a URL to the image. So image.source is equal to image data.url. That's going to set our source of the image to the data to the URL. And we also need the alt tag just in case the image does not render. So alt tag is going to be a string interpolated image of data.title. So that's just in case it fails to load, we're going to get the alt tag being image of Milky Way rising as our alt tag for that image. And now we're going to append the image to the image div to see the image. So image div append child image. And that should give us our image. What is going on? Unhandled promise to check. Null is not an object. Image div that append child. This is not. What are you talking about? I had it right. Oh wait, did I have it backward? Oh, image div. Get it in by ID. Did I name it image? ID image, yeah. Image did get element by ID image div that append child image. What is going on? Unhandled promise rejection type null is not an object. I'm pretty sure img image source console data. Okay, let's just go ahead and try the info div then. This is new. I have no idea. Unhandled promise rejection. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a closing bracket somewhere. Const data data.image. Okay, that is weird. Image div dot append child image. Const image equal to image dot response as JSON response data. Let's console log out. Did I spell the alt tag? What if I mess up the alt tag? Null is not an object. Image div. Document dot get by. Document equal to document dot get. Oh, you know why? I know why. I'm sorry. Because my script tag, right? It got loaded before my body. So that's what happened. This is kind of embarrassing. My script tag got loaded before my body, so it could not find this this div. So now that should work, and there we go. I should probably add some error handling, like let's say if photo div is not null, then continue, or some other stuff like that. But that's too much work for today, and we're just gonna spend a couple hours debugging instead of writing error checking handling code every 5 seconds. Anyways, let's continue. Now that we have the image rendered, we're gonna do the text content for the info. So let's do const. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's add that there. Otherwise, I'm gonna go nuts. Const title is equal to document dot create element h1. Okay, so let's do title dot set text content equal to data dot text data dot title, right? Let's do okay, let's just append that info div. Oh my goodness. Div dot append child title, and we should see the title. Milky Way Rising. Boom. Now let's go ahead and continue with this. We need the info title, info div title, and then we need the description. Const description is equal to document dot create element. What's it called? A p tag. Const description. Now let's just go on. I forgot what it calls inside of the JSON object. So let's just console log out the data again. So inside of console log, inside of the JSON object, there's something called explanation. That's gonna be our description. So let's go do description dot text content is equal to data dot explanation. Okay, now let's append that to info div dot append child text description. This is probably a better way. You can do like inner HTML and just put all of this in there, but that would have been too logical. Const copyright equal to document. There's just so many inefficiencies here. So copyright dot text content is equal to an interpolated string copyright. Copyright, and it's gonna be the copyright folder. So data.copyright, and then we're gonna append that info div dot append child copyright. Now I want this copyright to be bolded, but to do that will require me to do inner HTML or create another tag and all of that stuff. It's just too much work. So let's just do, I can show it to you. I can do strong here and then do copyright, and that's bolded. Is it .b? Oh, it's up here. And there's a difference between strong and bold that I don't remember why. There we go. But there's a million ways to bold something in HTML and CSS. But I think there's a difference between strong and bold. One is good for search engine optimization, and one is good for just like bolding stuff. But I forgot the difference. But let's continue with the styling. Otherwise this video is going to take way too long. So we have all the data we need now. We just need to add the styling. So I'm going to move this screen to one side. If my screen, okay, it does not let me do that. Let's go ahead and drag this right here. Okay, let's go ahead and close this one size here. And we're going to be working strictly with the CSS file, index.css. Okay. You can probably not see that, but that's okay. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that this image is on the left side and this thing is on the right side. And to do that, I'm going to do .container. Remember, the container class is what contain all of the stuff. .container, and we're going to do display flex. And that's going to put the image on one side. That's going to put, hard to explain, but it's going to put everything in this column is this way, row. And if I do, I can do like display flex direction column to make it like stack vertically too, but we're just gonna do it side to side. It's been a while since I've done HTML and CSS, so let's just add some padding to it. So padding 20 pixel. Nah, let's do 10 view width. Is that too much? That's maybe too much. Let's just do 5 view width. This is kind of dangerous. Let's just do pixel. Let's just do 100 pixel. Ideally it should be responsive, but we're too lazy to do that. Do I want padding? I don't think I want padding. Let's just add fine, I'll do padding. Let's just add 20 pixel padding. How about that? Okay. So let's do, now that we have the padding is 20, let's just make sure that this image take up half the space and the text take up half the space. So let's do image width is equal to 50 view width. Oh, that didn't change. That's fine, because we can do, wait, hang on, why does this doesn't change? Oh, because I don't remember why. Let's take the text image img width is equal to 50 view width. That's strange. Let's do info. There we go. I wonder why it doesn't change when I did that. Let's diagnose that. Why? Let's diagnose. So let's diagnose when this info box is not the same. This is the div for the image, right? But the width is not 50 view width. Why doesn't it change? Weird. I guess we're never gonna know. But let's continue, because I can probably Google it, figure it out, but this is gonna take forever. Width, that's gonna be, let's add some padding to the side. So I think it's 0.24 pixel, and the first 0 is up and down, the second one is side to side. And this text is kind of bunched up. I want some spacing between the title, I want some spacing between the paragraph, and I want some spacing between the copyright. So let's just do display flex. Let's do gap 20 pixel. And the problem you didn't see anything is because gap required you to do display flex. and display flex direction column. There we go. Let's add some styling to the paragraph tags to make sure that the word is, this word is kind of bunched up. I want it to space out just a little more, and I want to import the Roboto font from Google Font. So let's just do the Roboto font first. So just go to Google Font and grab yourself a font and copy this link tag and paste it inside of index.html, the script tag. Okay, let's go back to index.cs here. .css. Okay. Was that one? I don't remember which one I did. Let's just open up again. Index.html, open up in Safari. Okay. Index.css. So now that we have the Roboto font as our default font, let's go ahead and change the spacing of this character because it's kind of bunched up. To do that, we're going to do p tag. We're not going to add any class name to it. This is just a quick and dirty way of doing it. So let's do line height 1.5. That's going to add some line height to it. And this letter, this is kind of bunched up. We're going to be, so word letter spacing 0.7 pixel, and that looks somewhat better. Still not good, but better. Okay, so I think the spacing, the image width not changing might have to do with display flex or something, but I'll be sure to Google that later. 0.7 pixel, and let's add some padding on top to move this down a little more. We're not gonna make it mobile responsive. That's just too much work. Let's try to move it down just a little more. So let's do margin top and top 20 view height. Too much. 20 view height. There we go. That somewhat bugs me, but that's okay. Let's make this title a little bit bigger. So let's go. I can do H1 and then change it, but let's try to apply ourselves a little more here and just do title.className. Let's add a class name here and call title tag. Title tag. Yeah, I think that should be good. Naming stuff is a challenge right now. And let's change the font size to like 54 pixels, something crazy. There we go. It looked good if you scaled it right. All right. Why is this gap so big? Inspect elements. Console. Let's just figure out why this gap's. Okay, so this image is not taking up the entire width. So what we're going to do is we're going to do image width is equal to 50 view width, and height is going to be auto. That way it take up the entire width of the container. Okay, there we go. Hang on a minute. Would that work if I remove this? Would that work if I remove? Oh, that might have messed up something. Let's show you. Remove this. Yeah, even if I do that. Okay, yeah. So that seemed to fix the width issue. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good day and have a good life. Bye.